Okay, in this video, I want to introduce you to the process of completing packet tracer activities. So, for example, let's say I have an assignment in Blackboard that says you need to complete PKA 1.0.5. So, PKA is abbreviation for packet tracer activity. And what you need to do is you need to find the instructions, the packet tracer file, and then actually go in and complete the process. So I have a big portion of my screen recording here because it's going to open up other software and other windows. So what we're seeing right now is my initial dashboard when I log into netacad.com. And then I, of course, need to go into the curriculum. This is where your packet tracer activities and labs will be found. So I click on that, and I told you that I wanted you to do PKA 105. So that's section 1.0, subsection 1.0.5, and it's actually labeled packet tracer logical and physical mode exploration. So what we have here in the middle is text that just basically tells you what we're going to be doing and kind of tells you the setup or the topology. And then I want to highlight down here that the first thing we usually have in a packet tracer activity is listed as a document. So this is the PDF document that has the instructions. The other thing that we have down here is a download link. And that download link is how we will actually get the packet tracer activity file. So you can do this really in any order, but this time I'm going to go through and I'm going to download the .pka file, the actual packet tracer activity assignment. So I click that download button and a new window opens up and downloads. If you're on a Windows machine or a Linux machine, the process and where this appears will be slightly different. But on a Mac, using the Safari web browser, right here I have a download button that usually has the files that I have downloaded today. So I will click on that, and there's a Blackboard export that I did a little earlier for the class so that they can merge them. And then here's the packet tracer activity. It has been downloaded, and on a Mac I can click that little magnifying glass, which will basically show me a Finder window as to where that file exists. So I will do that, and this window appears. It's sorted by date modified. So 1.05 packet tracer and the name of the exercise.pka will show up. And I'm going to just double click on that so that it will start this up in packet tracer. So when my packet tracer window appears, I will pull it over into this window so that you can see it. So there is packet tracer, and I will pull it over here and pull it over again and make it a little smaller. And it has the instructions as well as the actual packet tracer activity. So it seems to be more. There we go. So it didn't like the fact that I made the window smaller. So anyway, here's what we have. Evidently we're in Alaska, and we have a couple of locations. So here are the instructions. Now the instructions were part of the .pka file, and may potentially go away when I'm not using that. So what I'm going to do is I want to point out that if you click on this, you get a PDF document of the instructions as well. So I really like to have the bigger PDF copy of the instructions, but regardless of how you get to them, these are the instructions. Now you can go through and do these. The other thing too is those of you that have had me before know that I like you to download PDF documents and put the answers actually in the document. So when we download this will be the document that we use to put our answers in. So the process is you'll read through and it will tell you to do things like look at the bottom toolbar and notice there is a question here. What are the subcategories for networking devices? So if you were doing this on paper with a pen or pencil, you would just write your answer in here. Well, what I want you to do is use a PDF editor and go in and actually type your answer here, and so that it's easily found, I will ask that you will do it in some bright, easy to read color such as red. You know, if you like a bright blue or something else, that's fine. Most students do it in red just because that's what I suggest. After you write the answer for that, you read on. It tells you to click on some things, zoom in, and then it says what devices use a wired connection connected to the switch named ALS1. So you will have at this point located and drilled down into a site, into a rack, and you will be able to look at that switch and you will type your answer there. So as you go through and do things, the other very important thing is you have a completion here. So as you go through and do things, so let me back up. Okay, so we're in physical mode. In the top blue bar, click physical, navigate to Intercity. Okay. Branch office. So that's in Seward. So if we go to Sewer and then we click on the branch office, so it's nice that, you know, we can have maps here, that type of thing. Click on the wiring closet, and this is what our wiring closet looks like. And notice that there's a cable pegboard, a table, and shelves. The rack contains our Cisco networking devices and is partially wired up. There are two switches that are, if you click on, will come up. There's ALS1, switch 1, and switch 2. It's asking us to do something on switch 2. So we click on switch 2, looking at the physical layer and trying to figure out what's wired. So you will work through this. Now, this one might be one of those activities that jumps really big amounts at a time. But usually when you're going through, it'll say, go to switch 1 and give switch 1 this name. Now, on this interface on switch 1, give it this IP address and subnet mask. And as you successfully do that, this completion will slowly creep up to 100%. And that is what you are shooting for. Now, if you don't get to 100% and you think you're done with the lab, you can click this button which says check results. And when you do that, you will need to go to assessment items, and it will tell you all the things that you have not completed yet, or what you have completed will have a green check mark and what you won't will have a red X. So in this case, you're kind of moving around and answering questions, but you'll go in, and similar to what I said before, on the backup router, you need to give it a host name. That'll be further down in the instructions. Once you do that, you'll get a green check, and your percentage will go up. So your goal is to get to 100%, and then what you will turn in will ultimately be this assessment items with your score being 6 out of 6 in this case, and with all these having green check marks. And what you will actually turn in will be, you will make this window smaller, and then you will screen grab the relevant information, including all the assessment items, how much time you were in the assignment, and your scoring that appears here. So that's kind of the process of finding, downloading, and doing a packet tracer activity.